Here we go. Talkin Buds Football Show. Yes, you heard that correctly. This is the Talkin Buds Football Show, sister podcast to the Talkin Buds Leaf Show, in which myself and my co-host, Mr. Brian Chalk, discuss any and all things National Football League. News, results, you name it. Little passion project for us, right, Brian?
Of course, football is the best. You know, we live in Canada here, and there's not much going on this time of year except for preseason hockey talk, whatever. So football is my life. Hockey comes second. I know it's weird as a Canadian, but football is number one here.
Well, I guess you're the right choice for the co-host of the Talkin Buds Football Show then.
So 3 seasons on, we keep going.
Yeah, you got it. Well, my friend, we've got a brand new season on the horizon. We got tons of stuff we got to talk about. Let's not waste any more time. The season kicks off Thursday night with the Detroit Lions at the Kansas City Chiefs. I think right away, you raise an eyebrow and take note of the fact that it's the Detroit Lions playing in this game against the defending Super Bowl champions.
And, you know, I've been really high on the Lions. Last year, near the end of the season, when they started ripping off wins, I was full on board. Dan Campbell's, he's really turned that team around. He kept the locker room intact. And, Jared Goff has been playing on such a high level. He's really controlling that room. He's controlling the offense. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, this kid is unbelievable.
Yes, he's elite.
He balled out last year, and I think that's going to continue this year.
This line has actually moved. It's actually moved more in Detroit's favor. It's now Chiefs -5.5 with the news that came out earlier today that Travis Kelce hyperextended his knee. Yep. I saw on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now before we signed on that the Chiefs are confident that it is not a torn ACL and that he isn't going to miss the whole year. However, just the sheer fact that Travis Kelce will not be 100% was enough to move the line on this game.
Oh, for sure. Like without Travis Kelce in that offense, how are you going to check down the football? That's half of their game plan. Is just find Kelce somewhere, check it down. He'll make 10 yards rip off that play. I think if Kelce's out, I'd put all my money on Detroit, to be honest.
Really? I was going to ask you that. I was just about to ask you, do you think the Lions have any shot at all at winning this football game?
Even with Kelce in, I was looking at -5.5 for the Chiefs. I think if Detroit loses this game, it's by 3 points.
Right. So you're taking them all day
all day on the spread, but
yeah.
I would take the money line in this game too, because I'm very confident. Because Amon-Ra St. Brown, he has a list of 17 wide receivers that were drafted ahead of him, and he has that list memorized. He's on some sort of mission this year to prove everybody he should have been the first receiver taken in that draft.
And this is so I wanted to go through and preview all of the divisions. And so I guess we might as well. This wasn't the one I want to start with, but we're talking Lions. So let's start with the NFC North. This, for the first time, this is the Lions division to lose, in my opinion. You look around.
Agreed.
And it's like you see the Vikings, who had so many lucky wins last year. They're not going to repeat that this year. Do I think the Vikings are going to be a bad team? No. But do I see them being the surefire playoff team they were last year? Also, no. The Bears are a team I don't quite know what to make of them. Like if Justin Fields isn't good, then the Bears aren't going to be good.
You're right. He's their entire team. Without him performing every game like an Allen type of performance, they're done.
Right. And so to me, that puts the Lions in the best position to potentially win this division if they can play like they did down the stretch last year, because I still haven't discussed my Green Bay Packers, who I'll be honest with you, Brian, I have absolutely no idea what to think going in. This is such a unique year if you're a Green Bay Packer fan. It's been decades since you've gone into a football season without knowing that you have a surefire Hall of Famer under center. And you have Jordan Love, who there's not a ton of game tape on him in actual real NFL action. There's a lot of great clips of him making nice passes in the preseason.
A lot of nice spirals.
Yeah. There's a lot of nice clips of him throwing balls into nets at training camp. But I don't know. It's all, there's always a learning curve, and As a Green Bay Packer fan, my main concern is Jordan Love is just good enough to win 6 games this year, and I don't want that. I don't want that. I'm ready to go finish at the bottom of the division, finish at the bottom of the NFC. Let's get another really high draft pick next year. And that's not to say that Jordan Love might not be the quarterback 2-3 years from now, but it is to say they've got such a good core of young pieces now, and that's another reason why I don't think they're going to do well this year is because they're so young. They have such a good core of young pieces now. Let's add another good young high draft pick to that, and let's build this team up to where in 2, 3 years, 4 years, they're right back dominating the NFC North like they always have.
I agree. I look at Jordan Love and he looks more, he's a game manager quarterback to me. He can manage a game fantastically. It's just, can he make that big play? That's what I need to see from him. Like Rodgers, the Hail Mary plays, like, I mean, who can really replicate that? But
Yeah.
can he make a big play when it matters instead of just managing a game?
Yes, and can these young receivers also make that big play as well? Because you look at their receiving core, it's this kind of the same guys from last year: Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs, great young players, but like young players, right? Like this is
I think they will succeed without Rodgers. I think the last year or so with Rodgers, they were all, remember the stuff he was saying in training camp about these receivers, and it just
yes,
continued on through the season. I think those guys specifically are going to have a much better year under Jordan Love. They're going to feel more relaxed, get out there, understand the playbook, not be screamed at by Rodgers the whole time. So
A- yeah. And last thing on the Packers, I think we're really gonna see how good of a coach Matt LaFleur is this year. Aaron Rodgers is not there. This is entirely him calling these plays. These are all these young guys listening to him. I'm sure Jordan Love has authority to audible out of a play, but like he's not where Aaron Rodgers is at in terms of
yeah,
like being able to read defenses and make changes on the fly. So it's really going to be him calling the offense. So it's going to be this is a huge like prove it year for Matt LaFleur.
what's your window on Matt LaFleur for this test? Like, how many years would you give him?
Depends on how good Jordan Love is. Like if Jordan Love has potential, I'm willing. I don't know. I honestly don't know, Brian. I have no idea what to expect this year. Absolutely no idea. Like they're going in on Sunday at 4:25 Eastern to play the Chicago Bears, and that game could go either way. Like that game could go either way. I have no like they're a dog by like 1 point.
Yeah,
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 Chicago -1 in that game.
that's basically a pick on that game. But
Yeah.
I don't know, like Chicago, I think is being overrated during this whole
Mhm.
offseason.
Yep.
Because when you look at their roster, I think Green Bay should be rated by 3 points in this game.
Let's stay on the topic of Aaron Rodgers and shift to what I think is the most compelling storyline in all of the National Football League this year, and that is the AFC East just as a whole. We're going to talk about your Buffalo Bills, who are still the favorite to win the division and one of the favorites to come out of the AFC to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl, I should say. You've got Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets, a team that the hype has just gotten stupid. Like it's just gotten so stupid. Like,
Hard
do
Knocks
I
will
think?
do that.
Oh my god! Like, do I think that do I think the Jets are a playoff team? Yes, I do. But are the Jets going to march their way to a Super Bowl? No, I do not. Then you have if what I think is the scariest team in this division, the Miami Dolphins, because no one's talking about them. They were a playoff team last year. They have no, like, the Bills have pressure on their shoulders. The Jets have pressure on their shoulders. No one is talking about the Miami Dolphins. No one.
I think everybody's too scared to bring up the Tua topic.
Yes,
Like,
to his health.
how is his health is kind of a sensitive topic, so I understand, but they're the team I fear the most.
Yes.
The Jets hype is not real to me. When you look at the depth of the Jets, they have nice names. They're not built as a Super Bowl team. Aaron Rodgers doesn't know this system.
Mhm.
He's played in a quarter of a preseason game. The first game is going to be a lot of running. It's going to be
Yep.
Aaron trying to figure it out, and I think the Bills are going to smoke them in the first game.
What do you think? But what do you say about the Jets defense? Because the Jets defense did give the Bills fits
They
last year.
they have an elite defense, and I'm really hoping that Ken Dorsey, McDermott got together because this is week one. You know what's coming, and
Mhm.
you know how important this game is to the Jets with Aaron Rodgers. You need to come in with a plan on offense, especially now that we have two nice new running backs. Let's not have the same song and dance as last year. So if the Bills can kind of get out there and punch them in the face with the run game to start and then air it out, I think it's a no-brainer because the Bills have all the chemistry, played together now for 4 years of this unit. Dawson Knox is pissed
Mhm.
about the draft. So I think there's going to be the Bills are getting disrespected in my
Josh
opinion.
Allen is healthy.
His elbow's recovered. He's healthy. After week 9 last year when they were playing terrible, you wonder why?
Yep.
His elbow was gone. So I know I'm going on a Bills rage right now. It kind of just
That's
happened.
okay. I just went on a Packers one.
Yeah, but I mean, as I said, Rob, I'm really excited about the running back room this year, and that hasn't
Mhm.
happened to me in a very, very long time. I've
Mhm.
always hated our running backs. Now that Devin Singletary's gone, I feel like I've been released from the shackles. So I think this year's going to be great, but my real concern is the offensive line still.
Yeah.
There wasn't much addressed in the offseason by
Especially
Brandon
going up
Beane,
against that Jets defensive front,
which is my main concern. They have a very aggressive front, and
which means you
you
have
know,
Josh Allen running around again.
yeah. And I
Yep.
need people like Deion Dawkins. He needs to step up this year. He's getting paid quite a bit as an offensive lineman. He needs to step up. Ryan Bates needs to step up. These guys are very important to like making sure the run game can work and Josh Allen's protected. If you
That's a
want that guy to stop running, protect him.
that's a big game. That's a big Monday night game to open the season, man. That game, if the Jets lose that game, the New York Aaron Rodgers little honeymoon in New York is going to come to an end very quickly because the New York media, and that's not to say that like they're going to go on some losing streak or whatever. It's just to say that you're not in Green Bay anymore, pal, where the media just worships your every breath. Like this is if they lose that first Monday night game to the Bills, the New York media is going to be all over them and you're going to start to see prickly end of his time in Green Bay Aaron Rodgers show up instead of Mr. Happy Smiley giving back $35 million Aaron Rodgers that we've seen all summer.
Did he really give it back though? He just got it back in bonuses.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. So, we can't move on from the East without talking about the New England Patriots.
Interesting team. Very
Yes.
interesting.
Do I they're definitely I think the weakest team in this division, but only because we don't know what the offense is gonna look like. Like they're back with Matt Jones. Bill Belichick someone finally sat him down and said, "Can we get a real offensive coordinator in here?" So they
Yeah.
went back and got Bill O'Brien.
What was that? Like
I don't
why did he
know.
think that was gonna work?
I don't know. So the Patriots are a team that I don't think they're a playoff team, but I do think they're a team that like within the division, like they're always going to be a tough game. Like they're never going to be an easy out ever.
Especially for the Bills. Like every time we play the Patriots, it even when they're bad, like I just have a sick feeling that we're just gonna blow the game some way because it happens every time. Look at the game last year with that win game. The
Mhm.
Bills just blew it, and they're supposed to be playing in that condition all the time, and you just blow it every time you play them. So I think there's always this. I don't know. It just makes us nervous to play the Patriots, and I don't know why. It's probably because
I'm
Tom.
sure the other two teams in the division feel the same way, man.
Oh yeah, the whole division. We've had what 12 years of Tom Brady just destroying us.
Mhm.
So we're still a bit damaged.
Yes, and Bill Belichick will always be an elite defensive mind who will make it difficult on the other team's opposing quarterback, no matter who the personnel is.
Especially when it's Josh. He loves getting under Josh's skin. I can
Yep.
just tell. That little
Yep.
smirk he's got in the sideline.
L- let's stay in the East and move over to the NFC East. This division, I don't know what to make of this division. I
It's
think
the
this is the
NFC
Eagle.
Beast.
Yeah, I think this is the Eagles kind of run away with this division again this year. Um, it's essentially pretty much the same team that went to the Super Bowl last year coming back. Jalen Hurts has proven himself as an elite quarterback who's like a true leader.
Yeah.
Nick Sirianni's a good head coach. But I also kind of like I look at the Dallas Cowboys and I'm like, like I don't see it, especially now with Kellen Morgan and Mike McCarthy calling the plays. Like, oh,
Yeah,
like
it's
I think this year has the potential to get ugly for the Dallas Cowboys. I see a lot of people picking them to like win the division, make the playoffs. I don't see that at all. I see this as like this
no.
year could potentially get really ugly in Dallas pretty quickly.
The only person that I think is good on the Dallas Cowboys right now, it's just two people. CeeDee Lamb's good, but Tony Pollard, that guy is a freak of a running
And,
back.
Micah Parsons.
Micah Parsons and Tre'Davious Diggs, those guys
Yeah.
are really good.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott is horrendous. He's so
Yes.
bad at quarterback. He's throwing interception after interception all training camp long on your own guys, and they're ripping you the whole time.
Yes. I know. It's I was listening to a podcast a few weeks ago where they were talking about watching film on Dak in training camp and basically saying, he's he's been injured so many times that he's lost a lot of his mobility. So now he's strictly just a pocket passing quarterback. And he was never a good pocket passing quarterback. Like he excelled when he was able to kind of do like Russell Wilson, get out of the pocket, move his legs around, make a throw. Right. And
Yeah,
now he has he's not as mobile. And that really affects because oof,
I
oof.
know it looks ugly, and like they're two quarterbacks right now, Trey Lance and Dak Prescott. Like what can you do with that?
Do
What
you
do you
see
think
us?
about Trey Lance?
I think they had to cut him loose in San Francisco because it just wasn't working.
No
And
doubt.
I think, but honestly, I could see a scenario where like week 6, week 7, week 8, you're hearing discussions on Dallas sports radio. Give the ball to Trey Lance. Let's see what he's got. This isn't working with Prescott. Like I could 100% see the fan base calling out for that. I just don't think this is going to be a good year for Dak Prescott, especially with Mike McCarthy calling the plays. Now, I've
Agreed.
seen enough Mike McCarthy play calling in my time. No disrespect to the guy. It's just I'm good. I don't need to watch that anymore.
Yeah, I'm sure you've lived all through that, so yeah,
Sure have.
you would know better.
Yeah, and when you look around the rest of the NFC East here, there's the New York Giants, who are another team that's like they had a great season last year, right? And got into the playoffs, and Brian Daboll like basically turned that franchise around, and they're flying under the radar because Aaron Rodgers showed up in New York.
For sure. I feel like they're going to do a bit of a regression this year, though. I don't
Yeah,
think they can because they won a lot of close games last year. Like a lot of their games were last second, fourth quarter wins. You're not going to get that luck every game, you know?
yeah. I Yeah, I see them being kind of like what I said about the Vikings earlier, same sort of thing.
Yeah,
Like a lot of lucky wins last year, but I don't I don't see it. I don't see they could be like a wild card playoff team. I'm not saying that they might not, but do I think that they're going to be like in competing for for the division with the Eagles? No. I think the Eagles are going to run away.
exactly. And like how much can you run Daniel Jones as your only offense?
Exactly.
A lot of their offense is just him, so
Exactly.
that can't last forever.
And then there's the Washington Commanders, who are in
Sam
contention.
Howell, baby. Sam
Yeah,
Howell.
who, in my opinion, are in contention for one of the worst teams in the National Football League.
Just a
And
sad franchise in
yeah,
general. Did you see
but
their
hey,
new
listen,
owner? You
yeah,
see
yeah,
him trying
trying
to
to
give that handshake?
shake to Joe Buck. Yeah, that was hilarious.
Joe
At
Buck
least
set
they've
him
got a
up. He
new
set him
owner
up.
now. At least they've got a
Yeah,
new owner now. Like, there's if you're a Commanders fan, and apparently there's also rumors I read today that new ownership is willing to change the name because I think Washington Commanders is an absolutely horrible name. Like I thought Washington Football Team was awesome.
that was one of the best football names I've ever heard. Like for a
Yes, I
team.
know. You could have just kept that, but so if you're a Commanders fan, I see there's light at the end of the tunnel. It's probably a few years away, but there's light at the end of the tunnel.
I agree. Like I'm not expecting much from them. I just want to see what Sam Howell does this year. We haven't really seen much from him, so I just want to see what that is.
Mhm. Let's move over to we're bouncing back between NFC and AFC here. I think this is kind of fun instead of doing conference by conference. Let's head west and go to the AFC West, another division that I think is pretty interesting. You've got Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos. Sean Payton trying to resurrect the career of Russell Wilson. Interesting training camp with some of the comments he made right off the bat about Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
pretty weak, to be honest.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And the Broncos as a roster, like like it goes without saying, woefully underachieved last year. So
Except for their
the
defense. Their defense was
yeah, so the
phenomenal.
idea of bringing in Sean Payton is to try and get Russell Wilson back to his like 2014 version of himself, 2013, 2014 version of Russell Wilson. I have no idea what this team is going to be. Like, I mean, consensus would be that like they're going to be a little better than last year because it was hard to be worse than they were last year. But I don't know, man. Like look at this. Like you got you're in the division with literally the best team in the league, a team that once again everyone is picking to win the Super Bowl this year in the Kansas City Chiefs. You've got the LA Chargers with Justin Herbert, who
Signing
now
his
have
new extension.
Kellen Moore from the Cowboys as his offensive coordinator. And you've got the Raiders, who will be good for the first 4 weeks while Jimmy Garoppolo is healthy, and then who knows after that.
Yeah, yeah, that's a tough division there because Jimmy G is such a wild card in that offense. I don't know what's gonna happen. I know I just switched to the Raiders, but I'm so
Yeah.
fascinated with Jimmy G.
Well, I mean, what is there really to say about Kansas City? That's why, like, let's just jump out. What is there really to say? Like, it's just
They'll
they're
be in the championship game, AFC
yes,
Championship.
yes. As long as that guy is under center, you could throw you and I out there beside him, and he would find a way to make it work. Like he's
Him
that
and
good.
Andy Reid, they'd figure it out.
Yes,
They
hundred
would find
percent.
our strengths. They'd be like, all right, Brian, you're not doing anything.
100%, 100%. So I'm with you on the Raiders. Like it's interesting. Jimmy Garoppolo, when he's healthy, has proven if put in the right position, and like Kyle Shanahan proved that if you put him in a position to succeed, he can succeed. But the guy just cannot stay healthy.
I
And
know.
what are we all gonna do? In did you see the video of their preseason game last weekend? And
No.
there's Brady, the new minority owner of the Raiders, in the locker room, down on the side. Guys just itching to put the pads on. Itching. What are we gonna do when Garoppolo goes down week 5, and then we get word that the minority owner is coming down to put the pads on to go under center to come out of retirement?
There is a very, very likely chance that this actually happens because I've
I
I've heard you're now like the 10th person I've heard this from. I
Yes.
guarantee, and you know Tom Brady, he's gonna actually look at Jimmy play and be like, you know what, put me in there. I can do a better
Yeah.
job.
Well, but you know what he's gonna do? He's gonna stand back and he's gonna see how good the team really is. And they got Devontae Adams, and he's gonna go like, how good is it? And I guarantee you, if opportunity presents itself and he feels the team is good enough, I 1000% could see a scenario where Tom Brady is coming out of retirement as a minority owner to make history as being the first like owner to play for an NFL team and take over Jimmy's role.
So I guess an owner could just play if they wanted to. I've never
I
actually
don't see
thought
why not.
about that
I don't
because
see.
they own the team. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see why not. Um, anyways, like this is all fun and games, but like the story on the Raiders is it remains to be seen if Jimmy Garoppolo can stay healthy and is put in a position to succeed. I could see them being a decent team. And then you've got the LA Chargers, who remind me a little bit of the Maple Leafs in the sense that
Yeah.
like talk to me when the playoffs come around. Like we all know you're good. You have so much. You have a young generational superstar as your quarterback. You and I have said in previous seasons of this show that if you could manufacture a football player in a factory, you would make Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
They're kind of like I said. They're kind of in a show me what you can do in January situation.
I also have this problem. Like every time I look at a Chargers team and they have like really good players, I always just like they're the Chargers. I know they're gonna blow it. They always
Right.
have to make the worst decisions. Their personnel is. So I just assume the Chargers always are gonna blow it.
That's what I said. They're very leafy.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
leafy.
Like guys who are like kind of nonchalant but like very talented. That's kind of
Yes.
Justin Herbert. The way
Yeah.
that he kind of acts, and He kind of reminds me of Matthews out there.
Yeah, yeah, and he's just like he's so like they just need to get over that hump, and they find a way. It's not that they not just that they lose in January. It's like they do it in like epic collapse, heartbreaking fashion.
Yeah, like you're winning by 20 at halftime and then you lose by 15.
Yes, yes, yeah. It hits really close to home as Leaf fans.
Yeah,
Let's move over to the NFC West. This division is interesting. I don't know about you, but I think the consensus pick to win this division is the San Francisco 49ers.
I couldn't see it any other way. Like regardless of who's playing quarterback, could be Brock Purdy, could be Sam Darnold. Doesn't really matter who's playing in that system.
Greatest
They're
coach in the league right
greatest
now.
coach, greatest running back, greatest dual threat running back, one of the best wide receivers, dual threat running backs, Debo.
Yep.
They're just, and then you got Kittle out there, like they're just stacked.
And then you look around the rest of this division, like I just kind of like I have no idea what the Rams are going to be like Matthew Stafford back being healthy, like they could be in like right back at the top of the NFC. The NFC's wide open, right? So it's like
Yeah,
you
Cooper
really
Cup
look at
though.
Cooper
Cooper
Cup.
Cup's
Oh,
injured again.
yep, yep.
I think his career is kind of dwindling
Yeah.
at this point,
Yeah, his body's taking a lot of damage, man.
which is true.
Yeah,
Like he's had a fantastic career, but he's got miles.
could you see Sean McVay finally calling it quits? Like if this season doesn't go well, he's been rumored forever that like he wants to leave and go to TV and whatever. I think if this season is another kind of ugly one for them like it was last year, I could see him actually finally pulling the trigger on that.
I could see it too. Like I thought at the end of last season he was going to pull that trigger. So it's only a matter of time. He clearly is not like he doesn't want to be a long term coach. He's got other aspirations and
Mhm.
more power to him. But I think you're right. If it goes wrong this year, I think he's gone.
And then there's the Seattle Seahawks, who were a team that kind of surprised everybody last year with Geno Smith, and I think that could very well be the case again. Like I said, the NFC is wide open, man. Like it's there for the taking.
And do you think Gino had a bit of a product of situation back in the day? Like he was playing for the Jets,
Mhm.
terrible situation. Backed up Russell Wilson for how long?
I
Which would
think
have
if you
been
could
like,
take quarterbacks and surround them with talent and put them in a situation, I think Kyle Shanahan has proven with Jimmy Garoppolo, Brock Purdy, and then seeing signs of it again with Sam Darnold here in the preseason. I think if you can take a quarterback and surround him with good players and put him in a situation where he can play to his strengths, I think you can win games in this league.
and there's a reason they were drafted in the first place. They all could play football. They all could throw the
Exactly.
ball. So in the right system, you're right. I think any quarterback can excel.
Exactly. But yeah, that division, these last two NFC divisions, they're tough to predict, man. There's some sketchy teams in those divisions, but we will wait and transition back to to the AFC and talk about the AFC North.
One of my favorite divisions.
Yeah, this is gonna be this. You've got the Ravens and Bengals, who I think will be duking it out for the division all year. And
Agreed.
then you've got the Steelers, who I actually think could be better
Kenny
this
Pickett
year.
is looking better. And
Yes.
what's that wide receiver? What's his name? 14. Oh,
George
what is his
Pickens?
name? George Pickens.
Yeah.
See that the catch he made in preseason, that Odell catch that he made. So
Yes, I know.
I think those two are getting some nice chemistry. So don't sleep on the Steelers right now.
No, I honestly like. Brian. I'm gonna hit you with something when we do our spread picks later. I'm gonna hit you with something that's gonna surprise you.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, yeah. Get
I
ready
can't
for that.
wait.
And then you got the Browns, who it's like the Browns are the Browns. Like they could be good and competing for the division. They could be terrible. Like Deshaun
I know.
Watson coming back from his scandal there has like
And to think that he's going to be 2018 Deshaun Watson ever again
yeah, it's not
is just
happening.
it's foolish. Like to give him that contract is so Browns.
Yes, I know it is so Browns. So I think at the end of the day, to sum this division up, Ravens and Bengals duking it out all year. Steelers could be a little better, competing for a wild card potentially. And the Browns, who knows? Coin toss could go either way.
Yeah, I agree with you for the Browns. Just you never know with them.
All right, moving over to what I think is, without question, the most painful division in all of the National Football League, the NFC South. I
Who even
don't
plays in
even
this
know.
division?
Exactly. I
Yeah,
don't even know where to begin with this. I think it's pretty safe bet that Derek Carr and the New Orleans Saints will win this division. And then you've got the Carolina Panthers, who will be kind of interesting with a new coach and Bryce Young at quarterback.
I
But
am very curious to see because he looks very, very small. He looks
yeah, so it's kind of
tiny.
like it's gonna be kind of a learning curve for him. You've got the Atlanta Falcons, who, like, I don't know about the Atlanta Falcons. Some
I know
Falcons
Kyle
fan comes
Pitts.
across,
Kyle
if
Pitts
so,
is good.
yeah, it's true. If
Yeah,
Desmond Ritter at quarterback, if some Falcons fan comes across this podcast, is he's going, yeah, I'm never watching this again. You guys are idiots.
they don't know what they're talking about. And
One
then deep
hundred
down, he's
percent.
like, they know what they're talking about.
Yeah, 100%. And then you have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who I think who are, with the exit of Tom Brady, even though it was a rough year last year, with the exit of Tom Brady, will be falling back quickly to Succaneers territory.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield's their quarterback,
Baker
correct?
Mayfield
Yeah,
will be starting the game one. Baker Mayfield will be under center for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I can't see that going wrong.
Yeah, I can't either. So that division sums it up. Derek Carr and the Saints win that division going away, in my opinion. And I think the same can be said for the AFC South with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think the Jaguars are going to win that division going away. I think Trevor Lawrence, who took a huge step last year, is going to take an even bigger step this year and be in complete command of the offense. Dougie P will be back
Oh,
doing his thing on the sideline.
he's just changed that whole organization around, eh?
He
Dougie
has.
P. What a
Yeah.
beauty.
Yeah.
But Trevor
Love
Lawrence,
Dougie
man,
P.
he's such a great quarterback. I wish he would just cut that hair. I'm so sick of that hair.
Oh, I love it. I think it's what makes him
Like
where
when
are
he
you
takes
at
off
on
his helmet and it's been conditioned and it's flowing in the wind. I'm like, come on, dude.
he looks like Thor. Where are you at on the Tennessee Titans?
I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Titans. Like the Saints are favored over them in that game. I just never kind of Vrabel. Like even last year when the Chiefs were playing them, when I think Tannehill was out, there was a bunch of injuries. Patrick Mahomes is like, this is going to be our hardest game of the season because that defense just eats you alive.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
and you got to wonder, like the wear and tear on Derrick Henry's body.
I think he's going to not have a great year, to be honest.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
even last year near the end, it looked like he was kind of falling apart.
yeah, you got to time will tell on that one for sure. All right, that's our around the NFL division preview. I think if you're listening to that, you can really tell what divisions Brian and I are interested on following this year and what divisions we are not super interested in following this year. Let's do some week 1 spread picks, my friend. Would you like me? I have one that I said I was going to surprise you with. So are
I
you
want to hear it. Let me hear it.
okay? I am on the Pittsburgh Steelers plus 2.5 against the San Francisco 49ers.
Really
That is the one that I am going in on big time. I think they can at least cover that, if not win that football game.
interesting.
Yep.
What that must have a good payout.
Yeah, and I just think the Steelers, like, I don't know. Like, I think I could see a scenario where the Niners kind of stumble out of the gate a little bit and then become classic Niners, like towards the middle of the season, towards the end, where they just start beating everybody and all of a sudden turn into like the class of the NFC. But I don't
Like
know. I
last
just got
year.
this. Yeah, I just got this feeling that the Steelers are going to surprise the Niners out of the gate.
I like that pick. I think that's smart. So, do you want to go back and forth? Like,
No,
do you
you
want to
tell me.
bounce
You
them
tell
off
me.
or?
Yeah, you tell me your favorites. I've got a couple here, but like I didn't
Okay.
do every game. I just picked the ones that I really liked.
So for favorites, obviously I'm hammering the Bills. The line's
Hmm.
at -2.5 for the spread. I'm hammering that
Hmm.
spread all day long because
Yep.
I think they're going to win this by 2 touchdowns.
Hmm.
Easy favorite for me to pick. Another favorite for me, I'm actually taking the Chicago Bears because that is a pick 'em.
Yep.
It's very easy to drop, $20 on there, just get a nice little feeler bet. because that game is a pick 'em, so be cautious. Don't just take my advice.
Yep, it's true.
I
Well, I
Yeah.
would say we should probably put a disclaimer at the top of this. Brian and I are nowhere close to gambling experts. We are like you. We just have some fun with it. So
Yeah,
please don't come back
I
and yell at us.
lose
Yeah.
95% of my bets,
Yeah.
so
So
if you
please don't
take
come
my
back and yell at
advice,
us.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's your risk. So
100%. 100%. That's on you.
that is on you.
That's
Don't
on
ever
you.
listen to me. My wife can tell you, do not listen to me about this,
100%.
but do right now.
Yep.
So my next favorite, obviously the Cincinnati Bengals over the Browns. Like that line is just embarrassing.
Yes.
Like I know
Yes.
the Bengals have injuries.
Mhm.
They're gonna destroy this team.
When I look at a lot of these lines, it's very clear. Like they're kind of like there's some of them. These would look very different a couple of weeks from now when we got a sense for who these teams are. Another one that I'm all over is the New York Giants plus 3.5. I don't think the Dallas Cowboys are going to be very good. I just don't.
No, I would take that.
Defensively, I think they'll be okay, but I don't think their offense is going to be very good at all. So I'm going Giants 3.5.
Oh, I agree. And I actually like the Patriots plus 4 against the Eagles.
Perfect. Love that.
I
I think
like
that's a
that.
good.
I like that. The
I think it's
Eagles
a
are
good
going to
one
have a
too.
bit of a off-season hangover, long season last year. I think the Patriots are going to take it week 1.
My survivor pool pick of the week, because a few years ago I'm in this big survivor pool with all these dudes who are my wife's friends, and there's tons of guys in it. Like the pod in it is huge. There's so many guys in it. And I was a casualty like 3-4 years ago. It was pre Brady in Tampa, but I took the Saints to beat the Buccaneers in week 1. And the Bucks upset the Saints and wiped out half this pool. So I always now am like super cautious and maybe play it a little too safe. But Brian, fingers crossed that they're not going to do it to me again, because I am going with the Minnesota Vikings as my week 1 survivor pick over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Ooh,
Do you think that's risky? How do you feel about that?
tiny bit risky, but I mean that's why we play the game, right?
Yeah, and also with survivor pools, I always find like you can't, like you gotta take some risks. Like if you take a lock, like what's a game here that we think is an absolute lock? Like you said off the top that you think the Lions
The
are gonna beat the
Bills.
Chiefs.
Oh,
Yeah,
but I mean at -5.5. I'm not
right.
sure
No,
if
but
that spreads a lot, but
yeah, I
money
know.
line for sure.
I'm talking survivor here.
Oh, right, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, survivor
Sorry.
pool. So like if you use the Chiefs now, you can't use them for the rest of the year.
Hmm.
Right? Or do you just say, get through week 1, stay alive, go with the Chiefs?
I that see my
Right?
brain is working right now. I don't know
Right?
what to do there.
Right?
I think you go with the Minnesota Buccaneers.
Yeah. If I lose, that will be the second time in 5 years that I've been eliminated in week 1 of the survivor pool thanks to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The non-Tom Brady. Brian, if
Yeah.
I am eliminated from week 1 of this survivor pool because of Baker Mayfield, I I'm done. I'm never doing survivor pools again. I'm retiring.
You can blame me. You brought it to me. This is my advice. You can blame me for that one if you lose.
Okay. All right, buddy. Well, I think that's going to do it for us. We're going to get out of here. Keep it locked here. Like and subscribe. We're going to be here all year. Ryan and I will be back too towards the beginning of Leafs training camp, doing Leaf videos all year. We're going to have lots of NHL and NFL content coming your way. So keep it locked. Subscribe to the channel. And thank you so much for checking out episode 1 of this season. And we'll see you next time.